pie of the world. Some of us avoid and resist eating bread because we desire to lose weight. But bread was once the main source of energy. Although we have to restrict it due to our current lifestyle, bread was our best friend in ancient cultures, active and heavy lives. Today in Turkey, due to the government's policies, bread is sold in low grammage, expensive and poor quality. But this geography is one of the geographies with the most ancient knowledge of bread. The various peoples living on it have left many practices and knowledge about bread. Let's take a brief look at the history of this bread. In ancient Egypt, there were two sources of life, the Nile and bread. At the beginning of human history, bread was a simple product. Grain and water were mixed by hand, expanded, laid on a hot stone next to a fire and baked. This was called flatbread. According to articles by nutrition historians, the Egyptians made the first leavened bread, probably by mistake. Such mistakes have led to the introduction of many foods into our lives. According to one theory, the yeast was dropped on the barley, left in the middle or mixed with the wind, when placed next to it. In any case, the gluten in the flour worked and inflated the bread. Many things I have learned are fascinating to me. Therefore, I don't forget this information and go back to that moments in history. In early Egypt, new technologies for yeast bread were developed, such as closed ovens and long loaves. These ovens were essential for providing food for the banquets given by the pharaohs. A pharaoh's banquet is listed below. 10,000 biscuits, 1,200 Asiatic bread, 300 baskets of dried meat, 250 baskets of 10 plucked geese, 150 cooked duck, 12 kinds of fish, 250 baskets each, 30 cups carob marmalade. This food was eaten by hand and was the diet of the ruling classes only. It was eaten by sitting on mats in front of the tables or on the ground. Later on, chairs and tables were used. The food culture of the oppressed is outside this narrative. Nutrition has been one of the essential symbols of class distinctions throughout history. One of the earliest human relations was slavery. If you were in the wrong place at the wrong time and you were there when a war was lost, you became a slave. Being a slave often meant being fed with inferior bread or some stew. For the ancient Greeks, grains, grapes, and olives were mixed in many ways. The ancestors of biscuits, which still taste delicious today and are a staple of Greek cuisine, go back to ancient times. They had food for which they used wine for yeast. Cinnamon and grapes were indispensable for these biscuits. The Turks, the limit which is made especially marvelously in Ankara today is about 3,500 years old. Breads with a hole in the middle were quite diverse in Hittite culture. The history of bread is as old as the history of civilization. It is a food almost as old as human being becoming human. It can be debated whether civilization is good or bad. But bread is a symbol of civilization and settled life. It is a long story that cannot be told in this video. I hope to see you in another nutrition video.